All right. Coming up on the Hard Hittin Wrestling Show, we have the recap on SmackDown and Raw. A special superstar returns to WWE. Survivor Series matchup card is building up, and we will discuss the memory of the late Eddie Guerrero. We have that and much, much more on the Hard Hittin Wrestling Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, prepare your ear holes for the best wrestling podcast in the world. It's time for the Hard Hittin Wrestling Show.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Hard Hittin Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Obi Muniz, and my co-host is Big Jays, and we have so much to talk about, but before we even get started, we have the recap of SmackDown and Raw coming up. So, are we ready?
Yep.
Outstanding. Let's hit it off right now. We can start off with SmackDown. And it all started the New Day defeating the Revival to become the 7-time tag team champions. They will now represent SmackDown for the Survivor Series in the WWE Tag Team Championship match. Cesaro and Nakamura defeated Ali and Shorty G. Sasha Banks defeated Nikki Cross. The Fiend attacked Daniel Bryan. Carmella and Dana Brooks defeated Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose to earn the coveted spot on the Team SmackDown. And King Corbin defeated Roman Reigns in the main event.
And on Raw, the Kabuki Warriors defeated Becky Lynch and Charlotte by pinfall to retain the Tag Team Championships. Drew McIntyre, Andrade, and Rowan were victorious in their matches. After a no contest between Seth Rollins and UK champion Walter, the answers for Team Raw were given as Rollins, Kevin Owens, and the Street Profits defeated Imperium by pinfall. Drew McIntyre was added later to the show to compete on Team Raw. And the main event featured Randy Orton, Ricochet, and Humberto Carrillo defeating the OCs, which Randy Orton allowed Carrillo to moonsault on AJ Styles for the win.
And that is the wrap of what's happening on Raw and SmackDown. And that leads us to our main topic, the return of the one and only CM Punk. Yes! Yeah. Finally, the people got it their way. As last night, Tuesday night, on Fox, on FS1, WWE Backstage, CM Punk was introduced as one of the cast members now for their show. And what does this mean going forward for CM Punk?
I don't know, but I'm excited. I know. I don't know if we mentioned it on the show or if we just spoke about it way back in one of the first episodes. But I did mention that if CM Punk does get back into wrestling, it's not going to be in the ring because he was doing commentary for an MMA organization. So I figured he might be doing commentary for a WWE or AEW. But this is pretty much the same. I'm excited to see him back. He understands the wrestling game, so he will give some insight. And he is. I don't know what the contract situation with this is, but we all know that he doesn't hold back. He isn't going to hold punches and stroke the McMahon's ego.
Hey, you're right about that. And hopefully they had his ice cream bars waiting for him on his arrival.
Yeah.
So those of you that don't know, that was the big story prior to him leaving WWE, is he always voiced his opinions. He didn't care if he hurt your feelings or not. He spoke the truth, and that's why a lot of people always chanted his name because he was the real deal. Moving on, Survivor Series. It's 2 weeks away. We already mentioned Team Raw is already set, and Team Raw consists of Seth Rollins, Street Profits, Kevin Owens, and Drew McIntyre. All right, a 5-man team, which is a triple threat elimination match.
Yeah.
That's going to happen somewhere in the mid-card of the Survivor Series. Now, the biggest question we have here is, who is going to represent SmackDown and who's going to represent NXT?
I don't know. NXT is the biggest question mark to me because, like I mentioned last show, they have War Games the week before. So who knows? Someone could get injured in a match there. I mean, the day before, not the week.
The day before.
The day before. So stuff might untangle. But I'm going to start off with my NXT predictions. They need a good head, and I think someone who can lead them. Someone like this is really tough because we don't know what the matchups are going to be for NXT Takeover. So, but I'm thinking right now, Tommaso Ciampa is going to be that ringleader. I do like my favorite parts of NXT right now are Keith Lee and Matt Riddle. So I hope I see them on there. And as far as the other two, I know Johnny Gargano just got an injury, so who knows? We might see Finn Balor, since he doesn't have a match with Johnny anymore. He might show up there, and that might steal the show there. And for my last pick, I don't know. It's a tough one, but I'm going to go with, you have him on here too, the bruiserweight Pete Dunne. That dude's a beast. I love watching him. And I want to see him go up against the main roster talent.
Yeah, I threw out some names out there. Walter, because NXT, US, and UK has some type of involvement, it wouldn't surprise me if Walter would have showed up to represent NXT. Adam Cole, I had him in there just because Seth Rollins is the face of the WWE. Adam Cole is the face of NXT as of now. Tommaso Ciampa, I like this guy. And because he is there, that's going to lead me to the SmackDown roster of my prediction. But Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, they've been showing their faces on Raw and SmackDown. You can't cancel them out. You really can't. Unless they suffer a type of injury on the night before. But I do expect them to a solid, like I give it a 90% that them two will be in the team.
They're my favorite things going on NXT right now.
And Pete Dunne. Awesome. Now, Matt Riddle better be involved because he has a big mouth. And I'm going to tell you right now, he has a mouth about Brock Lesnar. Okay?
Goldberg, too.
And Goldberg. So I'm just curious to see if to Survivor Series that maybe some of the legends will come out and show their faces.
Yeah.
Because that would be pretty awesome. You know? But that also leads me now to the SmackDown. Roman Reigns. He does not have an opponent.
Yeah.
Okay? He was Team Hogan. Wouldn't be surprised if he is Team SmackDown again, since it is his backyard.
Yeah.
Right? I picked The Miz just because Tommaso Ciampa is in it. Okay? And again, it hasn't been announced, but if Ciampa is in it, expect The Miz to be there.
The Miz also did just sign a 15-year contract extension with WWE.
That is true. That's right. And it's best for him. He loves WWE, and he's totally dedicated, not only in the ring, outside the ring, representing WWE, making movies, especially on the show, making Miz TV. His popularity is skyrocket, and hopefully we see bigger things for him. But this is the point right now that he needs to shine in the Survivor Series if he is chosen. We also have King Corbin. You know, and Cesaro. Cesaro, to me, should be the man to be in this roster. I hope that they don't single him out. He has too many matches to where he's always helping other superstars. It's time for him to get back in and get it done. Braun Strowman, you got to have the hands, baby.
Yeah.
You got to have it. Now, again, it's a 5-man roster. It could be Shorty G, Ali. I hope not. But if it's either of them two, I'd rather pick Shorty G.
Yeah, I'm liking Shorty G.
But then again, like Samoa Joe, I threw his name out there, but he's also on the backstage show.
Yeah, while he's
still
injured.
recovering. You know, there's no one's ever stated a timeline when he's going to return.
Yeah.
He looks fine to me. But I mean,
you didn't see that cast on his arm?
He could take that off and hit somebody with it. No,
Yeah.
But no. In seriousness, I was hoping maybe he'll come back because Pete Dunne has been calling his name out too for a match.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
So I was not to say that maybe he'll do something, but of course that's a long shot. So hopefully he get a speedy recovery and coming back to the ring. But my interest is that they set the egos aside. Okay, last year on Survivor Series, they created teams. Even within the teams, they had turbulence.
Yeah,
So it was not to say they get the best of the best, and you cannot single out King Corbin and having him with Roman Reigns. I mean, that's a great storyline moving on forward, especially the next pay-per-view after Survivor Series is the TLC matches.
Yeah. If that doesn't end up being a match between Roman and Corbin, it might be, but I think those two are definite for the team as well as Braun Strowman. Who knows, after last Friday, we might see Tyson Fury get in there and join.
No.
I
think that's
man.
a little bit too much. I think he needs to stay in his lane.
Yeah, but I do agree with you with Shorty G over Ali. I could see them both getting a spot here, but I am preferring Shorty G over Ali, at least for the moment.
Now, I'll tell you right now, a confirmed match that was announced Tuesday evening on WWE.com is another triple threat match, and that will consist of the United States champion AJ Styles versus the Intercontinental champion Shinsuke Nakamura, and they added NXT North American champion Roderick Strong.
Yeah, this should be fun. AJ Styles and Shinsuke, they obviously had their matches at WrestleMania 2 years ago, and they had their rivalry. It's going to be nice to see them rekindle that and see what happens there. But also, Roderick Strong, this dude is for real. The king of the backbreaker, I think is what he calls himself. This dude is nice. Also, I brought it up earlier. How is War Games going to affect this? Because Roderick Strong's putting his title on the line. Who's not to say he loses and then we might see someone else?
Well, that's a good thing that you mentioned that, because last Friday, the New Day defeated the Revival, and they replaced the Revival for that triple threat match, for the tag team match in the Survivor Series.
So these matches aren't set. There could still be something going on.
The titles are set. It all depends on who is going to represent that title. And talking about the title, Brock Lesnar is defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship versus Rey Mysterio. So that's another storyline in which, hey, it is taking place in Chicago.
Yeah.
The land of all the Chicanos out there. And was not to say that Rey Mysterio leaves out of Survivor Series as the WWE champion.
I mean, if this was taking place in the 619, I would almost guarantee it. But Chicago Brock's going to win unless Kane shows up, unless Dominic comes out. But I do want to...
coming out, baby.
Yeah, you said it last week. But I just want to reiterate it. Who called it? Who called Rey Mysterio and Brock? That's going to happen. And
who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, man. You've been mentioning it for the last couple of weeks. It looks like Rey Mysterio's on a shot to get the WWE belt. And like history always repeats itself. Rey Mysterio could be leaving out of there as the WWE champion. And then that same day or maybe the next day, he'll end up losing it. Yeah,
and Rey Mysterio is the greatest masked wrestler of all time. That's what his shirt says. That is the truth. He is the greatest little guy in all of sports entertainment. This guy deserves another push. He deserves another. He deserves to go out on top. Granted, I do think because the storyline has there's been sprinkles. I think him and Dominic will form a tag team in the future. But I think he does deserve another chance on the top, another chance to get the WWE Championship, because last time he did it, John Cena stole it from him the same night. Right. So I do want to see him go out on top, if you know what I mean. One last push.
I agree with you there. Women's champions are on the will face each other as well. Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Baszler. So that storyline itself, Baszler is not keeping away from either show as she continues to harass Bayley and Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, she's the reason Becky and Charlotte aren't tag team champions. She came out, she distracted them. Then Bayley showed her face too. That was great. This is really good. They are coming at each other, and it's intense. I'm excited to see what this brings. And I mean, the women have been on top ever since Evolution, ever since last year. I think this is a match to look out for on the Survivor Series card right now. I think this is going to steal the show.
I think so too. And this also make quite a decision making for Vince McMahon and Triple H and everybody involved, to where if the stars shine to the top, will we see another turbulence in the roster changes? Because the dominant brands are Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
NXT is always known for new performers to show up after they graduate from the Performance Center and they stick them in there. So what's not to say that Baszler comes out, loses her title in the future, and jumps on and goes on Raw, because I got a feeling Baszler and Lynch deserve to have their one-on-one moment.
Yeah, I would like to see Shayna Baszler. To me, is probably the fifth person. There are the 4 horsewomen. No one has really stepped up to that to be that fifth woman in that division yet. I think Baszler is going to be that, and she has shown great stuff in NXT. I'm excited to see her come up to the main roster when she does. But like you just mentioned, isn't NXT all free agents? So we could see these guys come up to the main roster as soon as.
But they're also their own brand.
Yeah.
But what I could see is not so much for SmackDown, but since Raw and NXT are on Channel USA, that they might just stay within those organizations, those brands. So we'll see. Men's Tag Team Champions, Viking Raiders versus the New Day versus the Undisputed Era. That's another match that was surprising to me, is the New Day being involved in there. I got a feeling that they called an audible to purposely put the New Day in there because they bring more of the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, Kofi was just WWE champion, so getting him back the gold. But I am a little sad because last week on the show, I came on here and I talked about how I am most excited to see Undisputed Era and the Revival in the ring together, and that's what was taken away. Granted, New Day's amazing. I also mentioned, since New Day won, you could argue that Kofi and Big E together are one of the best tag teams ever. Even before they were the New Day, they were tag team champs when they were riding with Dolph and AJ Lee. So they're legit, and I'm excited to see how this goes. I'm a little bummed out. I'm not going to see the Revival and Undisputed Era face off, but that will be something I will see down the road.
All right. The women's elimination match is still we don't know who they represent, but this week, starting Friday on SmackDown, they will announce the 5 women that's going to be the participants. So we should see within the next week of all the participants involved in the triple threat match.
Carmella and Dana Brooks did beat Fire and Desire to
so
earn
they have
spots.
2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
2 out of the 5 that's already locked in. But I got a feeling that Sasha Banks may be in that involved as well.
Yeah, she did have her first match on SmackDown since losing to Bayley in Hell in a Cell.
Right. We already talked about the men's elimination match with the Raw roster already set. We're still waiting for the SmackDown and NXT to make their offerings. The Universal Championship has already been mentioned. The Fiend may defend his title versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, he did attack Daniel Bryan. That'd be fun. They do have some history, Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. I would like to see how that plays out with the new Fiend. And Daniel Bryan has been sort of a limbo. He deciding whether or not he wants to do the Yes Movement again, or if he wants to join Sami Zayn, Shinsuke, and Cesaro. But I do like this direction for Daniel Bryan.
I got a feeling that Daniel Bryan's heading that direction with Sami Zayn once he is defeated by The Fiend. Because I don't see The Fiend ever losing that belt anytime soon. And then also, we discussed, the Champions match with AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Roderick Strong. Perfect 3 to go at each other. But I still believe, and like I said, we're long overdue to make our predictions. But that match looks in favor of AJ Styles.
I mean, yeah. You have spoke about how the rumors are Seth and AJ in main eventing WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So I could see that happening, but who knows? I mean, the Undisputed Era might be there to help Roderick Strong, and Sami Zayn might be there to help Shinsuke.
And you have the OCs
might be
and Finn Balor. Because Finn Balor, I wouldn't be surprised if Finn Balor gets involved and then all of a sudden has an NXT match with Roderick Strong.
I could see that, but one thing we haven't spoke about is the OCs came to NXT. They started the invasion back. They were the only ones to invade back. And at the end, Finn came out and helped the OC. So this is something we've been talking about. This is something we talked about ever since the OCs came together, is Finn ever going to join with them? And now that he's heel, all signs point to yes. Now the question is, how long is Finn going to stay back in NXT, though? That's the only factor holding him back right now.
You're right, and we have to wait and see if he gets a title match and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We don't even know if Adam Cole and Finn Balor has some differences because of what had happened that night at NXT. But talking about that last match with AJ Styles, last Raw, he was pinned by Humberto Carrillo, who is now the hottest superstar in today's game right now.
In your opinion?
Look, I understand he has some losses, all right?
Yeah.
But no one's ever heard of Humberto Carrillo. But check this out. He's getting a big push by already having a match with Seth Rollins. Got a push already twice against AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have him tag teaming with Randy Orton. Okay. And to Randy Orton for being unselfish, because when do you ever see Randy Orton be unselfish?
You're
Very
right.
rare.
You're right.
And to allow him, okay, to get on top and do a moonsault on top of AJ Styles and allow him to get a pin. That's signs to come that we may see a new United States champion, Humberto Carrillo.
See, I think he still has a lot to show us. He's hot right now. I wouldn't say he's the hottest. In my opinion, the hottest superstar right now is Baron Corbin. The King, Baron Corbin. He's king of the ring. He just beat the big dog on SmackDown. This dude's on top right now. I mean, he won his feud with Shorty G. Sadly, he was part of the Ric Flair team, and that's really his only loss in the last little bit. He went from losing. He's changed himself ever since he lost. He was on top. He was the top heel. He fought for the Universal Championship. Sadly, that didn't happen. He didn't get it. Then he comes back. He wins King of the Ring, and now he's on a push. Now he's looking for another championship. Who knows? This guy needs to get a belt. This guy's on top right now.
If there's any belt to be discussed, it more likely be the Intercontinental Championship. But the thing is how is that going to benefit Baron Corbin since he's heel? You know what I mean? Shinsuke Nakamura is heel with Sami Zayn. You know what I mean? Somewhere down the line. And then the biggest picture is Roman Reigns. Where does he fit in? When is he going to get his title shot?
I like that you brought up Roman Reigns because we're talking about the hottest superstars. The coldest superstar, in my opinion, is Roman Reigns. This dude can't find a win. He can't do anything. He can't get to the title picture. He can't do anything. He needed Daniel Bryan to get his last couple wins. This is, so-called the big dog. And Baron Corbin said it right. He's got these small little testicles now, and you need the pooper scooper, the bag, to take him out. Because he's a chihuahua. He's got the bark of a chihuahua. This dude is not the big dog anymore. SmackDown is Baron Corbin's yard, not Roman Reigns'.
Roman Reigns. He has to lose matches. You remember he got that big push and that moment that he had at the Royal Rumble, but failed to win because of Bautista?
Yeah.
Right? Everybody wanted him. The following year, it was Roman's year, and people were booing him.
Because they wanted Daniel Bryan.
Then, all of a sudden, nobody wanted him to win. Everybody's booing him. Boo, boo, boo. Then, they try to, lift his character up when he faced John Cena, when he faced all these other legend superstars and stuff like that, and, of course, The Undertaker, right? Now, you see him, he's always losing. And it's going to take a toll. And when it takes a toll, there's two things that can happen. Will he turn heel and go as a maniac, or finally he'll get to where he will be, to where he'll start winning and build that momentum up, because then maybe the Usos, who are soon to be coming back, more likely going to be on SmackDown, will help Roman Reigns to get back to where he's supposed to be.
Roman Reigns, 4 WrestleManias he's main evented.
Right.
This dude should not be doing this bad. He quote unquote the big dog. He shouldn't be on a streak like this. Mm-hmm. And if it is to make him turn heel or to make him find a team and team up with the Usos, it should have already happened, because this is not how you treat it. This why he's so cold. He was on a pedestal. He had matches with The Undertaker. He had matches with Brock Lesnar. He had matches with all these top guys, and now he's nothing.
And this should never happen to a guy who is picked number 1 in the draft for SmackDown.
Yes.
But next superstar that's cold as ice is one only Cedric Alexander. Now, he was heading up on once he faced AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Okay. Had his matches. He was winning. He got called up from 205. Was winning his matches. He got an opportunity for the United States title. Okay. Lost badly twice to AJ Styles. Okay.
Yeah.
And ever since then, he's only won one match. One meaningless match. So, how does Cedric Alexander bounce back for being rock bottom?
I just think he has as Vince McMahon sees it, little guy-itis. He's a little guy. He's a cruiserweight. They don't do too much. He might get a run here or there. But, yeah, this dude should be higher up. This dude is legit. When he was the cruiserweight champ, I was watching 205 live. So, I like Cedric Alexander. Just he needs to find himself in a storyline. He needs to find himself in a feud, in a rivalry, to be legitimate and to take him to those heights. Because ever since he has come to the main roster, he did have that little feud with AJ Styles. But you need to have him in something leading up to that to build momentum and to grow.
That's correct. I agree with you. But on the other hand, I think it's best fit for him if Cedric Alexander maybe be a tag team with Ali.
Yeah.
Because,
something like that.
Look, Cesaro and Sheamus, these guys used to battle each other. Then all of a sudden now they became buddies. That bar brawl that they had to where they came together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden now Cedric Alexander, rock bottom, Ali, who was also in the same level. He wins, he loses. He wins, he loses. He hasn't got a title shot yet since he lost to Shinsuke Nakamura. So I think those two could pair off like Rude and Ziggler.
Yeah.
I think that will best fit for them right now.
Yeah, I feel if you aren't in a feud, if you aren't in a rivalry and you aren't vying for a championship, I think tag team action serves you best. Because, the tag team divisions are so small. And who knows? Maybe you will catch some heat, or some people will like you, and that could help you skyrocket to a tag team championship. I do like that idea.
Yeah. So let us know, what do you think? Who is the hottest or the coldest superstar currently right now? Please leave a message. Leave your comments below. Tweet us. And we'll definitely share all your information regarding to this topic and our next show. But we're moving on to something more sensitive. Today is in our broadcast November 13th, 2019. And this is a day to remember the one hottest superstar that passed away too soon. And that is no other than Eddie Guerrero.
Latino Heat.
On November 13, 2005, Guerrero was found unconscious in his hotel room at the Marriott Hotel City Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota by his nephew Chavo, who he attempted CPR. Guerrero was pronounced dead when paramedics arrived at the scene. He was only 38 years old. Autopsy revealed that Guerrero died as a result of acute heart failure due to underlying his cardiovascular disease. Guerrero's wife, Vicky Guerrero, claimed that he had been unwell in the week leading up to his death. So he left a legacy through not only the WWE roster, but to the WWE Universe, to his family, and to everyone that knew Eddie Guerrero. I, for myself, will always remember him as the LWO, the Latin World Order. I was discussing this with Big J's before the show started, how I used to make hats. We had hats called the BWO, and my wrestling analyst, Hector Vasquez, and our other buddy, John, we used to walk around as the BWO at work. You know, the Boricua World Order. All right, 3 Puerto Ricans. Since I was the one from Connecticut, they're both from New York. We're far away from home, but we were the trios on the block handling our business. So, but he was the man.
Yeah.
What did you remember about Eddie Guerrero?
I mean, you got to go in the ring and just his great feuds. Obviously, him and Brock Lesnar, him lying, cheating, and stealing to get the championship, and then obviously going and him with JBL, him driving JBL around in the limo, making a mess, everything. That was great. And then I mean, it's corny, but him and Rey Mysterio fighting for Dominic's, who's Dominic's real parent, like that is, I mean, it is far-fetched and it is very out there for a wrestling storyline, but that is what wrestling is. If you can't appreciate that, you can't appreciate wrestling. And he put his heart and soul in the ring every time. If you listen to the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast with Chavo Guerrero, Chavo talks about the instant when he did die and how he was holding him in his arms, and that's sad. But he also talked about the great stuff, talked about how Eddie Guerrero was the type of guy that when he was the WWE champion, the World Heavyweight champion, he took that to heart. He felt like the show was his, and he did that. Chavo said that was something that hurt him too, because he took so much pride in being the champion of WWE, and he needed to go out there every night and put on the best damn show. Right. And that's what he did even when he wasn't champion. Yeah.
And that's one of the accomplishments that he had in WWE. One-time WWE champion. He was also the two-time European champion. Yep. He was a United States champion. He was a 2-time Intercontinental champion. He was also the 4-time tag team champion, twice with Chavo Guerrero, once with Tahiti, and once with Rey Mysterio. And the final year of his death, he was announced the WWE entered the class of the 2006 as the WWE Hall of Fame. So he was the 11th Triple Crown champion and a 6th Grand Slam champion. So what a success he had at early. I mean, it's sad, passing away at age 38. I mean, there was so much. I mean, man, who knows what could have happened if he was still alive today, or how much more accomplishments he would have made. But again, even though it's happened in 2005, I still feel like it's still my condolences to the Guerrero family for their loss. And we will always remember him for everything he has done for the WWE Universe. Still to come is the update of what's going on in the wrestling community, as well as the takeaway. We'll be right back.
Are you passionate about a subject? Do you have the gift for the gab? Are you interested in putting all that together to create your own podcast? If so, check out Clovercrest Media Group. Come and join the Clovercrest Media Group podcast family. You can find all information you need at clovercrestmedia.com. Clovercrest Media Group. The harder we work, the luckier we get.
And that's right. And we're working hard every single day to provide the best entertainment, the best news coverage, and everything else in the rest of the community. And speaking about rest community, here's an update so far of what we're tracking. The man, Becky Lynch, is celebrating 17 years as of November 11th on her debut of professional wrestling.
That's crazy.
So on Twitter, she has a before and after picture. I mean, I didn't recognize her in her early years. So, but then her hair was a lot lighter and everything else. But she come a long way to be where she at. John Cena, after calling out the fans to raise $1 million for the veterans, John Cena announced that the goal was met and that he will donate $1 million to the charity as agreed on the Ellen DeGeneres show that happened last September. The charity is called Fit Outs, which helps the military veterans find stability, success, and community through fitness. Sin Cara requested WWE release due to the lack of productivity on the show. He stated that his talent is undervalued.
Well, Sin Cara did, but we know how they like to just switch up Sin Cara. So the man under the mask might be getting released, but Sin Cara still might be in the WWE.
Wow. So we'll see. I mean, the only thing he has done is lose to Andrade a couple of times.
I mean, he's getting a push more than he was earlier, so he's starting to get something.
Jordan Miles, no one is talking about this. This has been kept under wraps. I'm surprised that the media itself is not on this. So Jordan Miles, who is the NXT superstar, has not been on television since September 21st, 2019. Apparently, he disapproved with a WWE t-shirt of his mouth covered with his name. He considered it as a racist imagery. Nothing has come about in the WWE, and I wonder what next approach is for WWE and Jordan Miles.
Yeah, this is... I am surprised. No one's talking about it. They are... WWE, Vince McMahon is trying to keep this as under wraps as they can. This is a big deal. Granted, I don't... Booker T came out about it on his podcast and spoke about it and how almost every WWE shirt has a black background and how he himself, if you come and talk in his days wrestling, the people making the shirts always came and talk and he had to approve them.
Right.
So why... So I wonder if maybe things have just gone off the rails and they're just doing it with Jordan Miles. Also, I mean, I feel like the WWE, the superstars should have input on their shirt. And this is, I understand where he's coming from. It doesn't look too bad, but I understand where he's coming from. And I don't see how this got approved in the first place. Because it does just a little bit look like what he's talking about in the blackface stuff. But it shouldn't have been approved.
So rumor is that he's hanging out at the Performance Center. So we could see his return soon. especially with Survivor Series coming out. Who knows if he comes out just for that or maybe later down the road. But this guy is very talented. He has a big future for WWE should he stick around. I hope that all these matters are settled and we can move on past this. And finally, let the rumors rest, and it is official. Randy Orton signed a long contract to remain in WWE. Randy posted rare photos about him jumping ship to AEW, but I think that was more of a tease to get WWE rolling and get him a contract to stay with the organization. Leading also to that is his latest update of his future feud. So it didn't work for him with The Rock, but now he is calling out John Cena for a match for WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's something I'd love to see. Randy is he is on that level. He deserves that respect. He deserves to have something like that. And I mean, John Cena is busy with all of his stuff. If John Cena does come back, I think Randy Orton would be a perfect.
I just feel like if John Cena come back, his purpose is to be the 17th-time champion. That's just my opinion.
Maybe.
I mean, this guy deserves it. We understand Ric Flair is a 16-time champ, but you understand that he's done it on both sides of the house, whether it was WWE or WCW. You know, but John Cena is legitimately the man in WWE that held most of the title. And I would love to see him maybe have the Universal title, you know?
Yeah.
Or if not, go get the WWE title. Maybe have a rematch with Brock Lesnar and then, rebuttal himself from all that Suplex City that he went to on SummerSlam and get it back and just defeat him because he's defeated Brock Lesnar before, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, with this extension, I would imagine that Randy Orton will have another run with the title. So who's not to say that run won't include John Cena in it? So
I mean, even Randy Orton still has beef with Seth Rollins. He still has unfinished business with Brock Lesnar. So there's so much that can happen. So I just hope that whatever happens, that they get their dues. Let's put it that way. And speaking about John Cena, he has a post-production of Doolittle, Project Extraction. He's currently filming Fast and the Furious and The Suicide Squad, as he is the Peacemaker in that movie. And he's also in the pre-production on another movie called The Jansen Directive, which is him being an actor as a former Navy SEAL. So there's a lot on his plate.
Yeah. So
it's not necessary will we at least expect John Cena to come. I hope he does. It's WrestleMania, and it's not the same without John Cena. Because he still electrifies the crowd just like The Rock.
Yeah.
So, all right. So those are the news in the wrestling community. Stay tuned to our last segment, The Takeaway.
Are you a sports fan? NFL, NBA, MLB, college football? Make sure you check out Keys to the City, a Clovercrest Media Group podcast. Ted and Trevor Keys have been talking sports their whole life. When they're not talking sports, they're arguing about it. No matter what sport, what team, what player, they are passionate. Make sure you check out Keys to the City live streaming every Tuesday and Friday on Facebook, or you can find past episodes on clovercrestmedia.com. Keys to the City, a Clovercrest Media Group podcast.
Them boys are always arguing.
Yep.
They even got Twitter wars going on themselves.
Yep, you and I have been a part of a couple.
Especially about college football.
Yeah.
So, hats off to them and their success. And I can't wait on their next episode to see what they got talking about on the college rankings.
Yep.
But we're moving on to our last segment called The Takeaway. Now, as we all know, WWE superstars Rusev, Bobby Lashley, and Lana are currently involved in a storyline about adultery. And many fans are reacting negatively, outraged on how such a storyline can be possible, knowing that in real life, Rusev and Lana are a married couple. But many people seem to miss the entire approach to this matter, as I explain in this week's Takeaway. The storyline started on October 4th, 2019, at the premiere season of WWE Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. The month of October is also the Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We evolved from the Day of Unity, which started in October 1981. The intent is to connect advocates for survivors of abuse across the nations who are working to end violence against women and their children. This is an opportunity to deepen our understanding of these issues, share resources, and most importantly, support survivors. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, on average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by their intimate partner in the United States. 1 in 4 and 1 in 9 men experience severe intimate partner physical violence, intimate partner contact sexual violence, and/or intimate partner stalking with impacts such as injury, fearfulness, and PTSD. 1 in 15 children are exposed to domestic violence in their homes. The presence of gun violence has increased each year, and overall, the people that suffer the most are the children, the family members, and friends. There are so many different statistics about domestic violence across the nation, but the worst of the worst is that domestic violence can't end in death. And it's our responsibility to stop the violence, to stop domestic violence. So I encourage you all listeners to please stop the violence. Reach out. If you know someone hurt, you know someone that is in need of help, do not let that go. Please find them some help. Should you know or know someone who are involved in domestic violence, please seek help. Call 911 for help. You can visit the National Domestic Violence Hotline online at thehotline.org, or you could call 1-800-799-7233. So that wraps up our show, ladies and gentlemen. All my audience, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Hard Hittin Wrestling Show. You can check us out at hhwshow.com. You can hear our podcast, updated videos, our blogs. Our blogs are updated every 2 days or so. And also, again, thank you so much for supporting us. On behalf of Clovercrest Media, on behalf of Jace and myself, Obi Muniz, thank you. And until next week, take care, everyone.